yasya nishvasitameva tad Rigvedaha, Yajurveda, etc. they say that is nishvasitameva. Nishvasitam means something which is which has come out of the breath of that Supreme Brahman. That is what they say. That means they are anadi, they are originless. So that is what very traditional scholars say. But some modern scholars say that it is at least some 5000 years old. The oldest human record is Rigveda. So in that Rigveda, you come across this particular metaphor of having a tree, of samsara being compared to a tree, and on this tree there are two birds. One bird is eating the fruit and another bird is not eating the fruit. The same metaphor is seen in the Upanishads also. Upanishad again are slightly later time. The Upanishad also, that is at the end of the Vedas, we find it in Mundakopanishad, you find it in Shvetashvatara Upanishad, and again say we find in Kathopanishad, we find the same metaphor in slightly different form. Slightly different form means it is talking about Urdhvamulo Avakshakaha Yeshoshvattha Sanatanaha, it says Kathopanishad. So in all these Upanishads and also in the very earliest portions of the Vedas, you find this metaphor of a tree. And this metaphor of a tree, in fact, it is interesting to see that it has gone into Buddhism. With some little bit of modification, it has gone into Western say religions also, because there also they talk about a tree and there is a fruit, and then there is one Adam who is asked not to touch the fruit, and then the Eve eats the fruit, etc., etc. is something similar which has gone into all these civilizations. So, but anyway, here the point is different. The point is, so let us see the words. I said Urdhva Moolam is something, the origin of this is unknown, that is something which is originless. That is something which has been going along. We can't find there is no fixed time at which this universe has started. So you see, this universe is something called Anadi, something which is you don't fix a time. There is no time frame for this. You can't say that it was created by the God maybe some 6000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, etc., etc. You can't say. So that is what is Urdhva Moolam. Then Adhash Shakham. Shakha means all these say branches. Then Ashwatham. So this Ashwatha is an important word. The etymological meaning is Na Shvaha Tishtati iti Ashwathaha. Shvaha means, in Sanskrit, Shvaha means tomorrow. Shvaha, in Hindi you call it Subha. Shvaha is Shubha. Shubha is tomorrow morning, next morning. Na Shvaha Tishtati, that is, it doesn't stay till tomorrow, which means it is something which is ephemeral, which is so transient, which is impermanent. In other words, it is impermanent. Transient, ephemeral, impermanent, that is what is called Ashwatha. And on the very next word is Avyaya. Avyaya means something which is eternal, something which is unchanging, etc., etc. So what is this contradiction? So on one hand you are saying it is Ashwatha, on another hand you are saying it is Avyaya. In English we call it an oxymoron. An oxymoronic statement is something which is, there is an apparent contradiction. So on one hand you are saying it is transient, ephemeral, and again immediately you are saying it is something which is eternal. So what is this eternality of this world? This eternality of this world is again a tentative eternality, like you see a flow of a river. That river is, it seems to be always there, it is flowing always, but it is always changing, it is always changing. That is what is called Pravaha Nityatvam. So there is a huge Pravaha, there is a huge stream goes on and on and on. And then there is a saying, you can't dip in the same river twice, because the moment you dip and then you get up, the river has gone by, and then again you have a dip, the river is new. So but then there is a Nityatva in that stream, there is an eternality in that stream. So this samsara is also like that. And then this is really, in fact, for a realized person, it is Ashwatha. A person who realizes what exactly is the nature of this samsara, a person who, what we have seen in this earlier chapter called Gunatita, a person who is a Jnani, he sees this, say this whole thing as something which is ephemeral. You may say that, okay, this earth is so many billion years old, you may say this solar system is so many billion years old, but again there is a date, there is a sort of expiry date for that, like you find in some mart, in some Walmart or something, there is an expiry date for various say objects we buy. So similarly for the earth there is an expiry date, for the whole universe there is an expiry date, there is a date of origin for this say universe according to science, but Vedanta says it is totally originless. That is something you just go back and back and back, because that accounts actually for, otherwise you just cannot explain. If you say that it was created at a particular point of time, the question comes as to what was God doing before creation. Was he somebody who was say unemployed, or was he totally sitting idle, or what was he doing? So that question arises. So there is no question of a person called God. We call it the supreme reality of that Brahman. In that manifesting power is always there. Where there is consciousness, that manifesting power is also there. So that is what say Vedanta says. And then Vashvattham Prahuravyayam, then Chandamsi Yasya Parnani. Then Vedas are said to be the leaves. The word Chandamsi, Chandas also means Chadanat Chandaha. Chadanam means to cover, to protect. Chadanat Chandaha means, you see, if you take a tree, in fact the leaves are the things which protect the tree. Leaves, they give food to the tree. Now of course by science we know that leaves give food to the tree, but in olden days they did not know what is this say that photosynthesis, etc. They did not know, but then they roughly knew that it is because of the leaves that the tree is surviving. So Chandamsi Yasya Parnani. So this is something which is protecting the tree, which means this Vedas which talk about dharma and adharma. So if you do dharma, you get sukham. If you do adharma, you get some dukkham. So it is telling about this dharma. This is for the guidance of man. This is for the guidance of humanity. So that is how the Vedas, they are supposed to be the leaves which are said to be protecting this tree. Chandamsi Yasya Parnani, Yastam Veda, Sa Vedavit. So he is the person who knows, who has understood the meaning of the Veda. And then there is a description. In fact, in the commentators have quoted elaborately from Mahabharata. We know that this Gita itself is from Mahabharata, we know. And say there from Ashwamedha Parva and some other Parvas, the commentators have quoted the huge description of this say samsara vruksha. Even that word vruksha is again very interesting.